London's Mayfair exclusive Claridge's Hotel is more than 200 years old and has a long history of serving royalty, politicians and celebrities. However, after decades of underinvestment, decline was beginning to show and the hotel needed to undertake a massive renovation project to prepare for the future and compete with the other luxurious London hotels. The problem was that the hotel is a Grade 2 listed protected building, so structural changes were severely limited. Also, the hotel's centre London location made it impossible to extend at street level. Another problem was the hotel owners didn't want to close or disturb guests during renovations, so any building work would need to be done silently and out of sight of the five-star guests. Well, what did the hotel decide to do? Let's find out. Claridge's Hotel wanted to add 50% to its size by adding a 5-storey, 6,000 metres squared mega basement. And if that wasn't enough, they planned to add 4 more stories on top to create 72 new rooms and suites, including a £100,000 per night penthouse supersuite. Back in 2007, the initial vision for expansion was quite modest. The hotel owners explored the possibility of adding a 2-storey extension to their prized property. However, with the financial crash in 2008, those plans were put to the side. But in 2015, the Mayburn Hotel Group dreamt even bigger and began discussions with their contractor. They explored the possibility of adding a stunning 5-storey basement below their cherished property. The only reason the contractor was awarded the deal was by promising to keep the hotel operational and guests uninterrupted throughout the construction process. The aim of the project was to delve a basement as deep as the hotel soars high. Spanning over 6,000 metres squared across 5 impressive levels, the subterranean marvel boasts a wealth of decadent amenities. It would include the hotel's very first swimming pools, a 650 metre squared spa, and an underground wine cellar housing the finest vintage wine. Also located in the basement would be a bakery and an in-house chocolatier. And for the hotel staff, this underground haven offers a complete experience with a full-service catering kitchen, restaurant, lounge area, changing facilities, showers, and laundry, all designed for luxury and comfort. The excavation and construction of the basement was carried out by a large project team. Construction crews worked 24 hours a day in 12-hour shifts, including miners from Donegal, Ireland. These miners were selected due to their expertise and their knowledge in some of the world's biggest underground engineering projects, including the Channel Tunnel and the New York subway. 2 miners worked together in one hole and to avoid disturbing the guests above, with all the work needing to be done by hand. The first phase involved digging a network of tunnels beneath an 80-year-old concrete reinforced slab, just 2 metres underneath the guest floors and across the width of the Art Deco wing of the hotel. Then the miners began to dig vertically to create the foundations of the basement. The miners had to hand dig down 32 metres for each of the 64 piles used, 64 times. Then they had to remove 45,000 tonnes of dirt from beneath the hotel. Initially, all materials going in and out of the site had to pass through one single 2.5 metre wide hole at the back of the property. Once each pile was completed, concrete foundations were poured and then 23 metre deep columns supported the hotel's original concrete slab. This new support structure needed a certain amount of flexibility so the hotel above would not crack, bend or endanger the overall building strength. Hydraulic jacks capable of supporting the weight of 3 jumbo jets, 1,100 tonnes, were added to the top of each of the columns to maintain the hotel's level. They can adjust up to 2.8 centimetres to prevent any sinking or rising. Due to the high stakes of the project, the old concrete slab will be monitored continuously for 3 years through sensors which will take readings every 5 minutes. After 2 years of hand digging and the hotel successfully supported on the new columns, This then allowed construction workers to perform a top-down excavation of the earth around the columns to create the new 5-story basement. Removing 5,000 cubic meters of earth from each of the 5 levels was made easier using heavy machinery that was assembled in the basement. After the earth had been removed, thousands of tons of reinforced concrete were poured to form the floor and the ceiling of the floor below. After only a year, the excavation team were able to successfully dig to the 5th underground floor. Once the 5th and final reinforced concrete floor was installed, the miners faced an additional task of digging 2 remaining tunnels. In an effort to upgrade the hotel, the engine room that housed the plumbing and electrical wiring was relocated from the rooftop of the Victorian wing to the lowest level of the basement, 55 meters below. This new central hub required connection to the existing network of pipes located on the other side of the hotel. To accomplish this, while they began excavation of the basement, the team simultaneously dug 2 4-meter-wide vertical tunnels under the Victorian wing. The most challenging aspect of this operation was the connecting of the vertical and horizontal shafts, but thankfully the tunnel and shaft lined up perfectly and the connection was flawless. This then signaled that the basement shell was complete. During the excavation of a basement, encountering water is a common occurrence. This project was no exception, as water attempted to seep through any weak points. Many cities, including London, underwent major changes during the Industrial Revolution. One of the consequences of the rapid urbanization and industrialization of these cities was the diversion of many rivers underground to make room for new buildings and infrastructure. As a result, Claridges, like lots of buildings in central London, sits atop an underground river. The project engineers rerouted this underground river with the help of vacuums and pumps before excavation began. However, despite these measures, some groundwater continued to penetrate the basement. The construction crews were forced to make repairs several times during the water infiltrating the construction joints in the walls. This instability presented a challenge for the next phase of the excavation, constructing several tunnels, each 5 meters in length, which would connect to a new stairwell and lift shaft and serve as the staff entrances to the new spa. Another problem that was discovered during the construction of the basement was the loud sounds coming from the London Underground, the Tube. Despite the developers' belief that the hotel's basement was far enough from the underground train lines, the newly built basement amplified even faint noises that travelled through the ground. As a result, the tube sounds were heard through the walls and basement pillars. To solve the problem, a team of acoustic engineers were hired and they came up with a simple solution, building small spa treatment room boxes within an outer box surrounded by an acoustic installation. The smaller spa treatment rooms were then attached to the walls using acoustic rubber springs. The floor of these inner rooms was elevated above the concrete floor through the use of springs. For the walls and inner roof, an acoustic quilt was sandwiched between pieces of acoustic plasterboard. The purpose of this was to absorb the vibrations and keep the sound from travelling, which successfully solved the problem. In conclusion, the basement renovation of London's Claridges Hotel was a remarkable undertaking, but 7 years after the construction began, the renovation was completed in September 2021. Faced with challenges like strict regulations and the need to maintain guest comfort, the hotel embarked on an ambitious plan. The addition of a 5-story mega basement with luxurious amenities transformed the hotel's offering, creating an underground haven of opulence. Skilled miners and innovative solutions overcame obstacles, ensuring the successful completion of the basement shell. But this is only the first part of a captivating transformation. Join us for the second part of the video, where Claridge's Hotel's allure reaches new heights. Witness the creation of 72 rooms, including the extraordinary penthouse supersuite. Stay tuned as this iconic establishment redefines luxury. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. We look forward to welcoming you back in the next video.